forge is ready for whatever
Turn
we
on.
need.
That's good. Alrighty, let's get some more levels. Reavers.
Not while I'm in town.
Almost got level 80. Hopefully we can finish getting this level 80 real quick so I can swap out some gear.
I must wait a moment.
I think I'm really liking this subterranean playstyle. I still only have a sacred weapon too. Once I hit 80, I'll be able to equip an ancestral staff. I made the bonehead mistake of putting a ancestral aspect on my chest piece. Trying to stay away from doing any nightmare dungeons till I hit 80. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good build for doing Zur. Now that I've actually seen the dungeons, and the fact that they're not really scaling the damage, they're just scaling health, or not scaling the damage as much. I actually might make some changes to my Stormclaw build. I might actually swap out some of the aspects and take off Madwolf's Glee. But we'll see. I should be able to get the gear I need before this weekend is up. I'm hoping to bring out this build before Monday, and probably change my Stormclaw build. My son just what's up, little monster? He just burst in the room. Well, my boy. How's everybody doing tonight? Do we have any typers in the chat? What's up, little rascal? I feel like these builds are going to be really, like, low life bulwark is just so good, especially with the fact that the new content, you won't know exactly what your modifiers are going to be. Just like whatever they decide to put in the dungeon is going to be in the dungeon. So I feel like low life bulwark gives you so much tankiness that you don't have to worry too much about what the different aspects are going to, the modifiers will be on each sigil. I'm actually thinking about running my builds without metamorphosis, just so I can put more damage in, and I'm pretty certain I can keep up bulwark without having to worry about losing my shield, if I have a tankier chest piece with like 3 ranks, 4 ranks in bulwark, because that'll cover almost my whole health pool. I gotta get some decent Ghost Walker aspects. All I have is the base one you get from the Codex. How high does this go? Like 20 something? 25% movement speed? What do I have? Villagers and Reavers. Let's see. All the way back over there. crazy the amount of damage that this does. As soon as I hit 80, I'll start doing some nightmare dungeons. That way I got all my equipment for my chest.
I'm not ready yet.
I like the fact that this goes through suppressor too, so I don't have to worry about suppressor monsters while I'm doing Zur. Like, a lot of things can get really messy, especially in hardcore, because I can't afford to die. If I run across a dungeon full of suppressor enemies, and I definitely need stuff that'll go through suppressor. That's why I'm so hesitant to run anything that can be blocked by some kind of modifier. Like, I see some people wanting to run the Exonerable Will Ring, and it's like some of the monster modifiers could be unstoppable monsters. And if you have unstoppable monsters, that ring won't really do anything. It's like trying to create a build that can be jack of all trades. Like attack and do damage to anything.
I'm not ready yet.
Hey, what's up, Pete? Good evening, brother. How you doing? I'm just trying to farm up this build right now, trying to get to level 100, hopefully by sometime tomorrow, and then possibly post this build out as another optional build for doing the new content. And then I'll probably be making some changes to my Stormclaw build to make it a little bit more tanky, because again, I'm doing hardcore, but I might be able to pick up some damage from my vampiric powers if I run a certain if I run my Stormclaw build a certain way. I like some of the news I heard from the campfire chat. It was pretty decent. I like the fact that they're gonna have Hell Tides going all the time in season 3, like they do Blood Harvest events. That's pretty dope. Yeah, definitely get them Duriel runs in, man. I really hope I get a Harlequin crest at some point in time. I'm looking for some chest pieces right now. I need to get a chest piece with like total armor, ranks to bulwark. I'm looking for, what is it? Total armor, ranks to bulwark. I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking for a decent chest piece. I need 2 decent chest pieces, one for this build. And I think I'm going to swap out a Mad Wolf's Glee on my chest piece on my Stormclaw build, and I'll probably swap the boots, the symbiotic aspect onto the chest, and I'll probably use Ghost Walker on the boots for the extra movement speed while unstoppable. I'd like to get those ranks to bulwark on the chest. That's why I really want it. I couldn't imagine how tanky I'd be if I had 4 ranks on the chest and then 4 ranks from a Harlequin crest with the added damage reduction. I'm trying to make an unkillable unkillable build for the content. Like 2 unkillable builds that can run the content. And then just stack out damage from the new rune. I mean the new glyph. And then maybe change if I need more damage later on, but I'm more worried about survivability just because I can't afford to die. Those 3 Bloodseekers that spawn in, man. I was like, wow, they do a ton of damage really fast. So hopefully I'll be able to get that set up. And I'd like to get a necklace with damage reduction while injured on it too. Like 2 amulets with damage reduction while injured. And then I'll be able to supplement the armor on the chest piece. And I can remove the armor stat off of my Stormclaw build. Although I think I need a whole new amulet for that. Just because the amount of money it costs me to roll the amulet now is like 15 million, which is insane. Yeah, I feel pretty confident about it. I feel like I feel like I will be able to I think I'll be able to get through the first few levels pretty easily, really quickly, and then I'll have to probably grind out damage from the new glyph. And then once I kind of get into a settled position there, I'll probably go ahead and make a normal character. Damage reduction close, damage reduction distant, total armor. That's actually a good chest piece. I wish the item power was higher though, 818. It's kind of sucky. And that damage reduction to close is kind of bad. This isn't a bad, that's not a bad chest piece. I'll probably keep a hold of that. Damage reduction. I'm thinking about running some dodge chance too, but I don't know. I might want to keep all stats. Just because of my Paragon board. I need some good aspects for this build though. I'm really lacking some high rolls on some of my aspects. Okay, that's all junk. And I'll put this in the chest.
I'm not ready yet.
Like I said earlier, I'm just glad that they're going to be scaling the health instead of damage, though. Like, that's going to be a big difference. It means I won't have to worry too much about tanking up on my different characters. I can just start focusing on damage. Once I hit that sweet spot where I'm comfortable and I don't have to worry about like anything going awry that could cost me my character, I can just start funneling all of my resources into building out damage. And then maybe I can even scale back some things. Yeah, I pretty much just given up on getting anything in terms of like high item power upgrades. I wish I could get something pretty decent, but it just seems there's always just too much junk, not enough good stuff. Kind of in a bit of a hard place right now because I don't want to go into a nightmare dungeon without Nature's Fury. It's at 6 minutes. 6 minutes on this Legion event. I'll go run around here. Pick up some Overland Tree Whispers quests. Once I get to 80, I'll be able to swap into my gear so I can go ahead and start running Nightmare Dungeons.
I cannot do that here.
I'm almost 80. You know, honestly, I could probably go back to the Blood Harvest real quick and just pick up 80 from doing a one of the little pedestal events.
I cannot do that here. I cannot do that.
Yeah, that's typically what I do, but I just haven't found all of my, you should see all of my aspects. I'll show them to you in just a second. They're all like super low rolls for this build. But I've gotten some decent early gear, so I can't complain too much. But there's a lot of damage missing on my aspects, and hopefully I'll be able to get some decent rolls on some of my rings. I need like lucky hit, crit strike, damage to crowd control enemies, and crit strike damage for my rings. That would be my preferred rolls. And then for my amulet, I need like movement speed, armor while in werewolf form, and venom ranks, and damage reduction while injured. I actually have probably the perfect rolls on my boots and pants, just really bad item power and some really low rolls, but the affixes are almost exactly what I would want. I just don't know how many added stats I'm going to need for my Paragon board unlocks, so I'll have to figure that out. I feel like this thing bugs out sometimes, and then the crit doesn't reset your companion skill. Because when it starts resetting your companion skill, you can spam Poison Creeper like crazy. Alright, now I got level 80. Okay, let's go back to town, swap out some items, and then I can start working on some of my glyph levels, because I have nothing on my glyphs. Barely at all. Okay. Go ahead and equip that. Make sure I have everything set up correctly. I'm gonna have to change this to Mending Stone. I don't need the armor right now. I should be able to reach armor cap without anything in terms of having disobedience. Okay. Let me pick up my staff. That's going to be awesome to have that staff now. I'll be clearing things out super fast. And then check this gear. I don't know if I have anything decent enough to put on other than my staff, though. I need a better pair of gloves. I need that crit chance and attack speed on my gloves. And I'm trying to see if I actually need it. If I actually need to invest in attack speed on my Paragon board. I have attack speed on my Paragon board currently, but I would like to remove those points if I could. However, like I don't want to sacrifice procs on my pack leader passive. I think I have some lucky hit. Oh yeah, these pants. I wanted these pants. Got a werewolf movement speed. I think I'll pick up these boots too out of the chest. poison damage. I could probably use this ring. I'll just have to reroll the lightning damage. I don't know if I want to, though. This isn't bad. Crit strike chance, crit strike damage. I need that lucky hit, though. I have some decent necklaces, but none of them, they're just missing too many things. Lucky hit crit, damage to poison enemies, that's fine. It's like this would be a really good necklace to have, but that missing 2 of the affixes, definitely I need movement speed, but I definitely need the, I don't know. Let's see, movement speed and, I mean, this one actually isn't too bad. I just need the damage reduction while injured on it. Okay. Yeah, you know, a lot of it can be it's actually I don't know. Once you're accustomed to these types of games, it all kind of blends in together. Like I'm gonna play PoE2 when it drops, and honestly, like making a build in any game it's pretty straightforward once you get the basics down. It's not too crazy. It's just a lot to kind of remember. Especially if there are like unique bugs in the game where certain things don't work and certain things do work, and it can all kind of get crazy sometimes. These are some decent pants. I'm going to keep a hold of these just in case. Just got to add some sockets. Or unsocket my pants. I've really been liking amethyst. I've really been liking amethyst a lot. I feel like the damage reduction I get is just so much more beneficial than just because of how much damage damage over time effects actually do. I could be wrong, but it feels good. It feels good for how I play. Let me go upgrade these boots.
Not while I'm in town.
You need steel work, repairs. See? Finest quality.
We'll just go ahead and upgrade these items. I got plenty of Forgotten Souls. Who cares? And I'll upgrade this stuff down here.
One of my better pieces.
Put it back in my stash. What did I have this one for? We'll put that in there too. I probably won't use it. I'll probably end up... I need to clear out a lot of my stash.
Ah, in favor, my friend.
Not while I'm in town.
Let's see. Change this. to the Ghost Walker. And I think we should be good. Oh, let me show you. Like, all my aspects are terrible for my... All these are really low. 7, 6, 7. I think I got 6 again. And then for the Poison Creeper, I'm missing... this one's 18, but I don't want to use it. I'll use this 14. Crit, physical, poison, lucky hit. I just have to upgrade that one more time. Lucky hit. See if we can get a good roll on crit chance. 3%. Get out of here. It's not bad. I wish the rolls didn't start so low. Like, crit chance at 1.8 is kind of... I wish it started at 3 and went to 5 instead of 1.8 to 5. It's kind of lame. Do it a couple more times. Then change this. What do I need? Lucky hit, crit strike. Preferably damage to crowd controlled enemies. Or critical strike damage. Usually I'll use if there's at least 3 affixes. If there's 3, I'm good. And of course it would be like a super low critical strike damage roll. One more time. One more time. One more time. No more times.
You will be back.
Just not worth it.
The stars do not lie.
I cannot do that here.
Precious stones, beautifully cut.
Lucky hit, crit strike.
Goodbye then.
I think I'll go with this one. What power level is this? 820?
Good fortune.
Not while I'm in town.
What is this? Poison Creeper? Yeah. I wish the new well, maybe it will. Maybe the new stuff will actually just drop straight item power appropriate, like 925 item power a year. That'd be pretty cool.
Great. Do you feel it?
Telling you that when they make that change in season 3 for the codex, that's gonna be so nice. All right, now we can get this show on the road. Just gotta drop this ring off and deconstruct this other ring, and then we'll get started doing some nightmare dungeons. Okay. I think I ended doing 30s. Or am I missing a power? it's just not active. What do I need? Some more thorns. Some thorny crowns. Should be good. No, one more. There we go. I'm hoping to run this build without Undying, go low life bulwark, and then I can equip Prey on the Weak. That'll give me a lot more damage. 16 multiplicative. And I'll be able to run that without skulls because I don't need all those skulls. But for right now, we're just sticking with the Undying. Maybe run it without Undying or Metamorphosis, actually. That'd be really good. Let's see. Okay. I think I was actually running it without Metamorphosis. Okay. Just making sure everything's set correctly. Structures. And they have a hell tied up.
Wait a moment.
I'll have to go check out. Once I get everything situated, I can test out damage and stuff on the dummy to make sure it's good. I actually think this build might be better than Stormclaw for running Xur. All right, brother. Have a good time. That's what I'm going to do in a second, is go run the Helltide. Yeah, they why'd I pick up those items? I'm gonna go run Varshawn and see how well this does at level 80.
I must wait a moment.
Oh, let me pick up that chest.
I must wait a moment.
And it's going to be so nice to get a better Ghost Walker aspect. That extra 15% movement speed goes a long way. Yeah, all the structure's always up here.
I'm not ready yet.
What's this event? At least this event has a ton of Blood Reavers that come to it. I don't really care about the event itself. Okie dokie. Let's go back to the tree.
I cannot do that here. It is done.
Hopefully we eventually get a decent piece of gear out of doing this. I don't know why doing Tree of Whispers in tier 4 gives you sacred and normal gear sometimes.
I cannot do that here.
Let's go do some Helltide. I need some more Forgotten Souls. Just gonna pull up the map real quick. Okay, let's go.
Not while I'm in town. I must wait a moment.
Honestly think I probably need to do more leveling than I need to do Hell Tides right now. I should probably just focus on leveling. Let's do a... Let's go ahead and do Fetid Mausoleum real quick. I think I could probably do like 40s maybe. Now that I have the better gear that I have now. Before I get to 100. I could probably do like 40s comfortably.
I'm not ready yet.
We'll come back for the item. I really wish that when you pick up items for pedestals, it didn't turn you back into a human. Even when I'm running Mad Wolf's Glee, it turns you back into a human. I also wish when you cast your companion skills, it didn't turn you back into a human. Hey, what's up, brother? How are you doing? I'm doing pretty well. I know I answered that awkwardly. I read your message and then I just answered. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? I got my chat down on my tablet below my monitor, so I'm constantly glancing down. Probably not the safest thing to do while playing hardcore, but I'm trying to make it work for right now. Did that drop anything back there? I think one thing I really like about this build is that you can just keep dashing away. You don't have to stay in one place like you do with Stormclaw. You just keep running, drop a poison creeper, keep running, drop a poison creeper. I really like the speed of it. Yeah, I made a new one. I did. I indeed made a new one. I plan on making a couple more before I try out normal mode. So I'll probably make like 1 or 2 more Druid builds on hardcore, and then I'll swap over. Because I want to be ready with a normal character for season 3. Just because it's so much easier to make builds when you don't have to worry about dying. I was gonna make a lightning storm build. I had an idea in my head, but lightning storm is still way too bugged. And honestly, I don't really find it that fun to play. If they could fix that bug that happens when you get stunned and it locks you out of using your skills, then I might make a lightning storm build. But as it is right now, it's too hard to make one of those builds viable for in-game content and hardcore mode. I know you can, it's just you have to do so much repositioning and it's kind of annoying. Especially if you get stunned up and you get locked out of your skills. Just go ahead and keep pumping up Fang and Claw. I haven't done a shred build, but I know that I don't know. I don't really want to make anything that's reliant on like an unintended mechanic with like for some reason it like quadruple dipping into your Paragon board. A poison? Well, what do you mean? Sorry, then claw? I know, like, last season I wouldn't make a Bulwark build just because I didn't like the fact that Bulwark was bugged out. It's like if I think I'm gonna run a barb, but I wouldn't make like a Hammer of the Ancients build just because I don't know. It's like it's doing too much damage. I don't think it's intended to do that much damage. Lightning Storm is garbage. But that's just how I play.
I'm not ready yet.
First Carlo, now Leah. There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
I don't think it's I don't think it's a boring class. I think it's just the more popular builds to use, or the one that you see the most with the one hit is kind of it's just too it tends to trivialize everything, right? Like, so that's a lot of reason why I won't make anything like a buggy or an unintended mechanic-y style build, just because it typically will trivialize the content so much that it makes running it kind of boring, or it does so much damage that you don't really even need to farm gear. You don't really have to take many things into consideration when you're making the build. You're just looking to get certain things, and then it just accelerates the damage to a point where it's one-shotting Duriel, you know. But then again, it's like, that's whatever. I don't care how other people play. That's just how I prefer to play. I look at it like a Game Shark, right? Like, it'd be like having a Game Shark for your game, having God mode or cheat codes. It's like, it's fun, but then it kind of makes it too easy. If I made a barb, it'd probably be like a Whirlwind Barb or something like that. Honestly, a lot of the reasons why I find classes to be boring, or like certain builds to be boring, is the fact that the movement speed. It's like a big reason why it's hard for me to want to make a pulverized build is because you end up sacrificing movement speed on your amulet, and it feels really slow at that point. I wish they would bake movement speed into your build, like into your leveling process. I think it would be pretty nice if they would give you like maybe a 0.5% of movement speed increase for every level you get up to 100. Especially for melee classes, or I should say like classes that have melee builds. Oh, my potions ran out. I didn't even notice. What up, my son? Hey, be careful, buddy. Don't knock over my stuff, please. Be careful over there. Yeah, I think it's just the way that, you know, it is what it is. Like, there's always going to be builds that are kind of so powerful it trivializes the game. And, sorry, my son is pretty, excited right now. He's over here playing with his dinosaur toys. But yeah, anytime you have builds that'll trivialize content, I probably won't make them. It's like a lot of people were really excited. Like a lot of people ran the broken bulwark with innate bulwark and everything last season. It's just like I couldn't find myself wanting to just spam out bulwark the whole time and never have to worry about like positioning, things like that. But
I must wait a moment.
the good thing is this season there's a lot more viable builds, so hopefully next season will be just like that, where there's a lot of really good builds you can play with high mobility. Because honestly, it's mobility for me. Like, I wish they would kind of boost up some of the mobility for some of the other classes. I don't know. I know in the early levels with Druid, you're just kind of waddling everywhere. Waddling, and it's kind of annoying. Those are some terrible rolls. Bad roll on bulwark, bad roll on damage reduction from poisons and enemies, low roll on total armor. What? I feel like getting gear like that with all low rolls it should be as common as getting gear with like insane rolls. Oh, I'm doing Xur next week. Crazy, bro. I'm doing Xur. I'm doing Xur when that thing drops. I have I'm making this build for that content. I'm doing a build for and I'm gonna probably alter my Stormclaw build just to make it a little more tankier. So first thing I'm gonna do, just because they specified they're not gonna go for one-shot damage, like they're just gonna increase the health of the monsters. But yeah, I'm definitely doing Zur. I honestly don't think just watching that. By the way, did you watch the campfire chat, man?
I'm not ready yet.
Hey, what's up, brother? It's going pretty good. How are you doing? Yeah, so what is up with these Diablo developers not being good at their own game? Like, how are they not good at their own game? I never understand how I'm just surprised at the level of ability sometimes that some of these people that play their own game. I'm not saying they have to be like avid gamers, but I feel like if you're making games, you should at least be decent at them. I don't know. I don't want to gatekeep anybody, but I was just like, homeboy forgot all of his stuff, went in there, didn't put his glyph on. Like, it would have been nice to see what the glyph did in a tier 10 dungeon. It's like he took his glyph off and he didn't even replace anything. Like, I don't know. I'm just surprised a lot of them aren't some more comfortable playing the games that they design. Especially that guy, because wasn't he like some kind of actual gameplay developer? It wasn't like when the ladies played the game and they were like art designers or something. I feel like they should at least be a little bit more comfortable playing their own game. It makes me feel like they don't spend, maybe, I don't know, makes me feel like they don't spend a lot of time actually, I don't know, like getting in groups and playing the game. I feel like they could learn so much if they would play their game more. There's so many bugs that are quite apparent, like in the new patch, for instance. The new patch, they're fixing trample. And before the patch, when you would hit trample, it would be so annoying. You would just trample into a wall forever. And if you're playing hardcore and your guy's stuck trampling into a wall, you can easily die, right? And maybe it's annoying for normal players who don't play hardcore, but for hardcore, bro, you sitting here trampling into a wall for like 5 seconds, it gets you pretty annoyed, especially if you're getting tagged in a high tier nightmare dungeon. And I feel like that's such a simple bug that was pretty apparent if you played your game. Like, there's just so many bugs. Just like the lightning storm bug. If you get stunned out of channeling a skill, suddenly your character can't move, your character can't use their channeling skill anymore. You're just stuck basic attacking. And I feel like that's such a basic bug. If you played your game, you would know that that's something that can actually be pretty game breaking. Especially if you, like, again, I play hardcore, so Yeah, but and I agree. But it's such a simple detail. Like it's not even a deep detail, right? What was that thing, that video where they were talking about there was a bug that I think some of the Chinese gold farmers were taking advantage of, where they would basically disconnect their internet and then they could trade weapons from the seasonal, from their Eternal Realm into seasonal content. Like bugs like that, I completely understand. Like who would do that in the first place, right? That's such a strange thing to happen. It's such a strange interaction. But when you have like simple bugs, like the trample bug where you're running into a wall, or your channeling skills where you get stuck and you can't move your character and all you can do is dodge, or cast your basic skill, those are simple bugs that if you just played the game, you would recognize pretty early on. And I don't think it would take that long to fix them. I mean, I'm not a developer, and I don't want to pretend to know exactly the ins and outs of what it takes to fix certain things, but I feel like those are pretty simple things. Could be wrong, but there are just so many things that I think, and I feel like, and as much as I am enjoying the game, and I think they're doing a great job in terms of season 2 and the direction the game is going. I feel like they should, I don't know, maybe hire some developers who play the game a lot. Like find people like, oh, I really love this game, and I also code. So I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on people, but I do feel like those are just simple things.
There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
Simple little things.
Don't be a stranger. Come back soon.
And then I know they said itemization in season 4, so we'll see what that does. Yeah. But like I said, they definitely are fixing things pretty quickly, in my opinion, from season to season. Season 2 just being such a 180 from season 1. And I just hope they also don't get afraid. Part of the thing I was a little bit disappointed with, and maybe it wasn't a huge disappointment, but being a guy who likes a little bit of game balance, when they announced that they weren't going to kind of patch anything or nerf anything, it's like I don't necessarily mind that for this season because of how, I guess, poorly received season one was, and it gives players that kind of relief of just having a good time and enjoying a game. But I hope that for the rest of the seasons that they do plan on, fixing some things if they're not working as they're intended to work, and really balancing out some of the skills and making the experience of building out a character just a little bit more rewarding. Because it is fun to see some crazy stuff happen, but to know that they're not actually going to do anything about the crazy stuff. I do understand that the game is meant more or less for those maybe a more casual kind of pick up and play experience, but with some elements for players who may like to grind a little bit, and I think that's a good thing. I think they do a good job of balancing that. But they definitely should want some form of balance in their game. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not every class has to be hitting the same or doing the same damage. But, they shouldn't want unintended mechanics to stick around for an entire season. I feel like it almost dilutes the game a little bit. Oh, yeah, of course, man. Yeah, definitely. Well, here's the thing. I definitely respect that. I'm a minimalist in the fact that, I don't really carry around too much stuff. I don't go too crazy. I don't mind farming out gear, every now and again. But I think what's really going to make a big difference in Season 3 is just moving those aspects to the Codex. I have no idea why. It's like, why did they not take the good aspects of all of their other Diablo games, some of the easy like shoe-in aspects, like the cube system in D3, It's like, that's a no-brainer. You just put stuff in a cube. You get to equip the legendary aspects as much as you want. You get a nice piece of gear. You slap that legendary aspect on there. You bounce into, you know, you go right back into playing. I feel like that was like a no-brainer. It's like, how could you waste so much time? And again, I'm not trying to rant on them. I just don't know why you would waste so much time developing a very convoluted system and a very inefficient system just to scrap it, basically. I feel like that's so much time wasted, so many resources wasted. It's almost like they're not thinking about all the cool systems they have. And I almost feel like the itemization when they release it is probably just going to be like Diablo 2 itemization. I feel like they're just probably going to go back to make, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, again, you know, if it ain't broke, you don't have to fix it. Not everything requires a revolution, you know. A wheel is a wheel is a wheel. As long as it, you know, as long as it turns, we're all good. Just make it turn well. I would be more interested if they started doing cool things like making raids and making content for people to really team up and go through together. I think that would be really fun. Almost like an MMO light style of gameplay. I think that would be a lot of fun. Just making a lot of content, people can get together, team up, attack a big monster or something. I don't know. Something with mechanics, you know, nothing like crazy one-shot stuff. Well, I can't say that. Some one-shot mechanics, but definitely better one-shot mechanics than Uber Lilith. Stuff that you can actually see. I think that'd be fun. I think they should do more stuff, more innovative stuff in terms of cooperative gameplay. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And making a reason for the clans. Like, I like clan systems in games. I like the idea that you have a bunch of people you know, you get together, you play together. It's all fun and good times. But if there's no reason to get together, I mean, people really only team up right now to do Duriel rotations. They're just sitting there, like, cranking out Duriel over and over again. I'm like, come on, guys. How many times can you watch a barbarian bonk Duriel one time? It's like, gosh. But I get it, you know. I mean, I haven't gotten an Uber unique yet, so I don't blame them. I can't blame them on that. But I definitely want more stuff to do with people. Like, more stuff to team up with. Hopefully they will play their game more often. This is a fun game. I'm enjoying it. I really like it. I can't wait, you know, just like I can't wait for PoE 2 to drop. This has been a lot of fun. And I've been playing it pretty consistently since since the release of it. And I've had a good time. I don't feel like I've had a bad time. They definitely have a good framework here. And obviously Season 2 has been really great. I like the fact that they're releasing content in the middle of the Season 2. I think that's really nice. Just keep it fresh, keep more stuff to do. I hope they continue doing that throughout the next seasons and stuff. It's like you drop a bulk of things that keep people entertained, give people something to do, and then halfway through when people think, okay, I'm going to go and do something else because this is getting old, you drop something really fun and creative that people can come back into the game and try out. I think that's a good idea. I'm sure it's definitely not a novel idea, but
I'm not ready yet.
it's like a big reason I'm going to make a normal character at the end of the season here, so that way I can play with a lot of you guys. Because I know a lot of people don't play hardcore. Yeah, the hell tide never stop. Get living still, get more living still. Maybe they could reduce the costs You won't have to do so many Hell Tides. I do like the fact that Season 3 is going to have more Hell Tides up all the time. That's nice. Gives you stuff to do. I honestly think they should do that for a lot of stuff. I don't know why the world boss takes so long to spawn. I said this a long time ago in one of my other videos that I made pretty early on. I know I'm still new to content creation and everything, but one of my earlier videos, I'm always about reducing respawn times. Like, there's no reason to make them last so long. Just have stuff popping up all the time. Give people choices. It'd also be cool if they had like a vendor like they do for Barshan runs, where you could actually vendor some of your other items and turn them into other materials for summoning. Like maybe you could turn your distilled fear into living still, or stuff like that. Because man, I have so much distilled fear from running nightmare dungeons, and I think it'd be cool if you could just take things that you're not using, turn them into other things, and you wouldn't have to go the indirect route of selling them to players and then buying the materials you do need. Or like maybe even turning mucus eggs into what's the silly thing called? Not mucus eggs, but the other one. Is it like sacred shard or something like that? I don't know. But turning them into the opposite summoning material. That would be pretty nice. Oh yeah, this is Gyao Ruins. I don't even have to kill all this stuff. Just go to the boss. Kill some of it because I need the experience anyway. Nice. Yeah, I feel like the damage is really starting to pick up here. Once I structure out my once I organize and optimize my Paragon board and get the right affixes on all my gear pieces. Well, not all of them. I don't expect to get everything perfect, but I think this will be a pretty good variation of subterranean bulwark. Lucky hit, damage to close. I always try to be a little bit patient when I'm playing. In terms of like scaling up my nightmare dungeons, just because I've always been that type of player to take too many risks. Sometimes I like to jump headlong into something that might be a little bit too difficult in terms of overall damage in incoming damage. That's pretty much how I die most of the time if it's not a disconnect. It's for me pushing too high too fast. I just get a little bit antsy. I want to go farm up the highest stuff. What else did they announce in the campfire chat? I know they had so they had season 3 is going to have our codex, obviously, but that wasn't what they talked about. Hell Tides, and then the Zerg content. I think they really didn't cover too much. Season 4's itemization. So what build are you guys planning on running for the abattoir when it pops? Yeah, I usually stick around like action RPGs, survival horrors, and then MMO lights. I don't necessarily want to play like a heavy MMO that requires a ton of time to grind, but I like MMO light style games with that are more or less skill based. Like I think the Division 3 is going to be coming out in the near future or something like that. Though that's that type of game, that kind of like MMO style, like high on the action, lower on the overall necessity to grind like crazy, and it's, you know, more skill based. But yeah, when PoE 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to play. I played PoE when it first released, and I don't know. It just wasn't for me when it first came out. I felt like it was a bit clunky and slow. And once I got out of it, I never really revisited it. So I kind of never went back to playing it. But when PoE 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to play that. Just looking for what. Let me see real quick. Yeah, that one. Protector, maybe Undaunted. Okay, that's good. And then I'll just level up some Earth and Sky. I was looking at some of the videos for PoE 2. It looks pretty fun. I know I just seen the video on the shooting. There's like some kind of shooting class. I don't know if I'll play that class, but it looks pretty fun. I like the fact that they just have a dodge roll that you can use all the time. I think you really, I mean, they are of the same genre, action RPG, but I think they're intended for two completely different audiences. So it's all going to be like your preference in terms of what you like from your game. Like, I would say if you have less time to play and you want something that you can just pick up and kind of understand on the fly, you don't have to spend like too many hours theory crafting, you're probably going to like Diablo more. But if you're a little bit more into like overall build creation and you're willing to, or you have that extra time to grind and do certain things, then you'll probably like PoE a little more. And that's the beauty of it. You have, you know, as a guy who plays all kinds of games, I love to have options. And I think it's great to have both of these action RPGs. I actually think it's amazing. We're in like the best time for gaming. We're getting these great, really, you know, well-created action RPGs. We get to choose which kind we want. It's pretty fun.
There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
Yeah, I think for me right now, I haven't played PoE, so I couldn't make a comparison. I've played it, but like I said, I hadn't really played it. I wouldn't say that I could honestly give a solid opinion on it. But I think PoE 2 is looking really good. Just with how action oriented the combat is. Like I said, I like that dodge roll. You can spam dodge roll. It actually dodges stuff. I feel like you can add a lot of skill to your overall gameplay. And it creates opportunities for the developers to make things that might one-shot you, but you can dodge it for some really cool gameplay. I feel like the skill ceiling on that game is going to be a lot higher than the one that Diablo 4 currently has. However, like, I don't know what Diablo 4 is going to look like. They're changing the game so quickly, and it's getting so much better so fast that by the time PoE 2 comes out, we could definitely have a dramatically different Diablo 4. So, definitely looking forward to playing both of them through my time, you know, on stream, like learning the game with other players, stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm really interested in the Division. When they come out with the new Division, I'm super interested in that because I really like third-person shooters, and I played a ton of Division 1 and Division 2. But my biggest problem with those games is they were always so buggy. They were always so buggy, and the balancing was so poor that eventually it would get kind of boring. So hopefully, when they make a new one, that one will be really, really good. Dude, I'm loving this subterranean playstyle. I love the fact that you can drop this thing down and you just dash away from it. It does tons of damage. I'm not even close to having any the damage at its maxed out level. It just feels so nice to play, like a nice fast play style. I'll probably play Druid on PoE 2 also, because honestly it looks kind of fun. The bear looks cool. I like the animations they put into the classes. You can tell they have a passion for making the game. I think that's what makes it so strikingly different when you watch a lot of their streams.
I must wait.
Give me the gloves. That's one thing that's a little bit annoying when you're playing on a controller, is trying to pick stuff up off the ground. You know something else I'd like them to change also? When you make an alt character, not having to do your strongholds all over again. I think that'd be nice. Not having to do your strongholds all over again, not having to rerun the quest line for the season over again. I think that would be cool. Just let you get right into the game without having to actually go back through. I can't tell you how many times I've had to refarm vampire powers. Do the entire quest line. I've probably done the entire quest line like probably a good 10 or 15 times. PAX, what is it? PAX. You know, I think I seen something about that pop up on one of when I was scrolling through YouTube, but I didn't look into it. I'll have to look into that game. Is it more like a traditional MMO, or is it like an action RPG? Use up my should almost be done with these vampire powers. Let's see, I might have extra points here. I'm wondering if I'm going to need this attack speed. This isn't necessarily a bad attack speed just because you get a little bit of damage, but I don't know if I'll actually need it. Or this armor. I don't know if I'll need this armor. But I'll probably end up swapping around all of these boards anyway. $50 willpower here. We really do have 50 willpower. Okay, let me just one there. Let's do this. There we go. And then, honestly, I don't even need to mess with this too much right now, just because I'm going to readjust everything. I'm wondering if I'll need the tectonic. It's an alt, like a MMO and survival. Okay, I'll have to look at some videos of it just so I can have an idea as to what it's like. What is this, a dex? It sounds kind of neat. As long as the survival mechanics aren't too annoying. Like when the survival mechanics for games like that get a little bit too excessive, I don't really find them fun. It's like if you're dying of dehydration every 2 seconds, or you're always hungry. I think my ultimate game, if someone made it, would be like a Lovecraftian style survival horror MMO. I think I'd like something like that. Or maybe like a third person survival horror MMO. With like clans and stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Attack speed. I need a good pair of gloves.
I cannot do that here.
My eyes can only watch.
Forge awaits your return.
Renegades isn't too bad. At first it seems like it's a bit long, but you can just bypass all the enemies. Go right to the enemies you have to kill. $82. I like the density in here too. Jalal's Vigil. Hopefully they drop me some slightly more difficult sigils. Then I don't have to worry about crafting one. So I'm kind of running low on sigil powder. What's the art style of it? What's the art style of the game? Oh, see you later, brother. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'll look up the game, that way whenever I see you again, we'll be able to talk about it.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
I'm always worried when I come out of Conduit that I want to be stuck in a big pack of enemies. I think a good pair of gloves is going to make a big difference. So I'm missing, I think, all the attack speed and lucky hit too. Or one of them, crit or lucky hit. Missing like two big affixes. Sounds like a machine gun when you start really rattling off these subterranean procs. Where's this other two? Not over here. Gotta be mindful of my potion. That's another thing I do, even though I'm playing hardcore, when I get to talking on stream, I'll completely forget about my potions. Let them run out and I'll be running around close to death. That's always nice. I wonder if anybody's made a debilitating roar build. I wonder if this is even any good. Damage to close, damage to distant, crit strike chance is too low. I got too many Nature's Fury aspects. Got like 5 or 6 that are perfect rolls.
That looks worse. I can fix it.
Belfry. Oh no, no lightning storm. They need to take that out of the game. Ain't nobody want. I hope there's no lightning storm in Zur. I will immediately leave that dungeon.
I'm not ready yet.
You got to do like a 40, what is it, like a 46 or 47 to do level 100 enemies. I feel like I got the tankiness. Oh yeah, I'm not even running really need metamorphosis.
I must wait a moment.
Give me a lot more damage there. I think the only thing that's annoying is when you run into waller enemies without metamorphosis. I like the fact that you can jump over walls. He's like the perfect boss. She's so big she gets hit by both sides of the subterranean. I think those are probably the best aspects. I mean, affixes for my helmet. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything better than all stats for there. Let's go to Blood-Soaked Crag.
I'm not ready.
Get out of here. Oh, nice. That's always annoying on a tier 100 when those enemies just keep running in after you've cleared the area. Pass that one right on up. Like I never get escape scrolls after a certain level. I feel like the amount you get drops off rapidly after like level 80 or 70 or 80. feel like I'm going to need quite a few for the Zur content.
I must wait a moment.
I wonder why these Animus carriers get bugged out in this dungeon. You start seeing like a bunch of Animus on the ground after killing elites that weren't marked. Had that happen a few times.
I must wait a moment. I must wait a moment.
The chieftain. Take the helmet. No, I don't got no room. Oh, I picked up this. I don't need that. Or this. Oh.
Not while I'm in town.
My eyes can only watch so much.
Not while I'm in town.
Let's see. Let's go straight down. Pick up that. Actually have to grab up Earth and Devastation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points for that. So 2 levels.
I cannot do that here.
And it's just constantly giving me 35s. I'll just speedrun the Skiao ruins real quick. See if I get something better. I think I could move up to 40s. Oh.
I'm not ready yet.
Just take off running. Once I get a better Ghostwalker aspect, I'll be moving a lot faster. Plus, I got some pretty bad movement speed rolls on my gear. Not too happy with. I'll stop here and pick up some XP. All these enemies. I go the right way? I don't think so. No, wait. Nope, gotta turn around. These Bloodseekers always do so much damage in the dungeon. Yo, I thought I'd teleported. Let's see. We'll just pick up all that. I'm sure I can use something. Maybe.
I must wait a moment.
Best boss. Come on, reset. I'm getting bad RNG right there. What am I missing on my gloves again? Pretty much everything. Yeah, that's most likely why. Missing 10% plus crit chance there. And attack speed. Oh, we got another one.
I cannot do that here.
Let me leave the dungeon and reset it. Come back right in. Come right back in. You gotta love when you get a sigil for the dungeon you just did. Especially when it's something like this.
I must wait a moment.
Not the blood soaked again. I always hate when I get the one that gives you the 30-second pause that you have to survive in one of these areas. It's like, lever's cool, kill this enemy, fine, destroy this objective. But then you get these ones that you just have to sit there for 30 seconds and survive. Maybe we'll get better RNG this time. We did. Hey, hey. Much easier. We'll do underpass. Underpass always has a good amount of XP. Let's see. Nope. I feel like they need to change the affixes on this piece of gear. I like the uniqueness of having resist to all elements, but the other aspects, they could probably do away with. It would make it a lot better if there was some damage reduction, like 2 rolls of damage reduction. Make a lot better. I feel like that's how a lot of these uniques are. It's like they have a cool idea behind them, but their affix is just destroy the piece of gear. Make it completely useless. I have some better gloves in here, but they don't have the right rolls. Just attack speed and crit strike chance. I don't know. It might be better overall just to have that on for right now. The one I'm running. Attack speed, crit strike, lucky hit. I like my ranks to landslide though, man. Do I have any other gloves? Attack speed, crit strike. It's a terrible roll. Yeah, the new cosmetics look pretty cool. They got that ice horse. I don't know why they're charging $50 though. It's a bit excessive. I don't like Whispering Vault. You know what I actually want to try? A pair of Frostburn gloves. That's what I want to do. I want to try a pair of Frostburn gloves with this. I want to see if it'll proc with the landslide. Because if it procs with the landslide, that's pretty good. That's a lot of CC, hard CC coming out. It'll pretty much make everything just freeze up all the time. I'll have to try it out after I get out of this run, because I have an extra pair of Frostburn gloves. I just wish they had Lucky Hit. They have attack speed, crit strike, but no Lucky Hit. Even if it was like Lucky Hit with it under a conditional, it'd be nice. It's nice to see that Claw still does a decent amount of damage, even though it, I'm not really spec'd into doing anything damage-wise with it.
I'm not ready yet.
Up the wall. Oh, nice. Free shrine. Anybody remember when the stupid snake things would launch the eyeballs that would stun you all the time? Like all the time? Before they nerfed it? That stuff was so annoying. It's my most hated monster in the game was the big giant snake shaman lady creatures. It's like a whole paragraph to describe one monster. These guys do a decent amount of damage. Actually died to one of those before. I got stunned up and the Joker just burned me down. Pretty excited for this build. I feel like once I get all the Paragon boards set up and the right stuff, this is going to be a pretty fun build.
I'm not ready yet.
See. Yeah, I definitely need that extra crit chance, man. I'm gonna try out the Frostburn gloves real quick. See how well those actually work. I'm getting so many Zenith rings. I think that's my 3rd or 4th Zenith ring on this character. In like less than 2 days. Damage, nope. Crit strike. Look at that roll. 3.5%. That's terrible. I have no idea why they put it so low. Like, why do they put the floor so low on that roll, on crit strike chance? Especially on, like, high item power gear. I feel like it should, like, base be 5%. Okay, we got some attack speed. Still bad. All right. Let's see. Frostburn gloves. Looks like this is the pair. Unless I have... Do I have another pair somewhere else?
Use it well.
They should, like, up to 5% chance to restore primary resource. They should probably take that off. They should swap that out for, like, lucky hit. Considering the gloves are just based off of a lucky hit. We're not doing that. I would much rather do Sanguine Chapel. I'm gonna go destroy the rest of these sigils real quick, and then we'll hop into hop into the chapel. Let's go. 24 minutes. I think we'll do the chapel, then we'll do the blood harvest, because I think I still need to, oh, no, I don't need any more. That's alright. I still need to farm up Varshan, because I need better, crone staffs. Both of my, characters that I have, that I'm going to use for Zur, have pretty bad crone staffs. Well, not pretty bad, but they're definitely not maxed out. I'd like to at least get like a 9-10 or something with decent affix rolls. Missing so much damage on my crone staffs. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely works. Look at how they get frozen. So good, man. I feel like people just sleep on Frostburn gloves so hard. And they're just so insanely good for freezing up enemies and damage mitigation. Especially with builds like this that rely on like lucky hit or something like that. You get so much indirect damage mitigation off of Frostburn gloves, especially with exploding enemies. Just because once they're frozen and they die, they don't explode. Really helps when you're fighting spider enemies too, because then they won't spawn more spiders. It's like they're just frozen, they can't even do anything. The only thing that would stop me from using them is just the fact that I need the extra ancestral the extra aspect from the gloves. But I feel like they have a decent, I don't know. I have to try them out in something high tier to see if they work for this build. I know they work for Stormclaw. They work really well for Stormclaw. I gotta pay attention to the items that are dropping. Because I need these items.
I'm not ready.
I love the animation of them like busting apart like that. It's a lot of people in one small room. Wonder what they were doing in here. There's nothing even in here to do. telling you, when I get that Ghost Walker aspect, I'm gonna be happy. Something better than 10%. Hopefully I get like closer to the 25% max range. That extra movement speed feels so good. Oh, and I got a Tree of Whispers. Okay. I didn't even realize. Whew. Man, such low rolls. I like the bulwark. Might have to hop on my other Druid I'm gonna use just to farm up some items too. I don't know. I just need to hurry up and get this character to 100 so I can get my Paragon board set up. Attack speed, lucky hit chance. The most exciting part of the game, watching me go through my inventory.
It is done.
Sacred items, all right.
That looks worn. I can fix it.
Vetted. How many more minutes? 16. Okay. Is this structures? Yeah, we'll just go do that real quick, and then we'll hop in there.
Not while I'm in town.
It's always easy to do the structures on this area just because they're always down here. There's always a lot of them.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Hopefully, it's the, oh, it's 150 Blood Reavers. I was hoping it was the other one. Come on. Spawn a bunch of them. I might do the siphon, the blood siphon instead. That usually gets a lot of creatures coming. Instead of these small events here. I wish the waves were denser. They should have more monsters that spawn. It's not enough. It's been a minute since I did one of these. I don't really like to farm these out too much. Oh, we're good. I don't need any more. What the? Just a bunch of enemies. I'm just trying to teleport out, man. Druid build. Yeah, so I was watching some things. I was actually watching because I haven't gotten Sieg. I haven't gotten any Uber Uniques because, well, I just have bad luck. But yeah, I definitely think Sieg would be perfectly fine in a Stormclaw build. And in fact, you might find you could probably remove quite a bit of damage reduction from other sources just from that amulet alone. Like, because you're using no resources, and that's just a giant pool of damage reduction. So definitely, you would probably just have to find some armor from a different source, and you would probably have to pick up some attack speed somewhere else. But it'd definitely be perfectly fine. If you're looking for tankiness, I think it's probably the best thing you could probably run. I seen a guy running a barbarian with that on, and he just, even when his resources were super low and his health was almost at the bottom of his I don't even know if he had any health, but he definitely had 1 HP, and that 1 HP wasn't going anywhere. I don't know if it's like if there might be a bug with it or something, or if it's just that good. But yeah, it's definitely a really great uber unique. Attack speed. I kill one more. Yeah, me too. I hope so too, but I don't think I don't know, man. I might get 1 or 2 before the season ends. I don't know. Probably not the ones I want though. But I like I said previously, I always play hardcore like solo self-found, so it's definitely harder to find Uber uniques that way. But I'm gonna make a normal character soon, so that way, and I'll probably just play with a lot of people, and probably do some rotations then. But for hardcore, I like to keep it solo self-found. And I'm glad you like my videos, man. That really means a lot to me, trust me. I'm trying to figure out I'm not really tech savvy or anything, so all this stuff is brand new to me. And I'm just having a good time making content and streaming and everything, because I've always liked games, and I've always liked people. So if I can game and talk with people at the same time, it makes it even better.
Wouldn't have moved it without you.
I'm not ready yet.
Hopefully, as my my video creation, thumbnail creation, and editing skills get better, my videos will then also get better. Seems like this game always spawns enemies right when I'm trying to go to the menu. I plan on putting some, I think I'm going to put this build out. My hope is to be able to put this build out before Monday for doing the abattoir. And then I'm going to probably change some things on my Stormclaw build just to increase the tankiness a little bit more. Not necessarily because when I watch the devs play the game, obviously they make everything look harder than it really is. But when those 3 Bloodseekers spawn at the very end of the dungeon, it seems, that seems like a really kind of chancy situation sometimes, especially depending on what the modifiers are. So I want to make sure that I can absorb whatever kind of damage that comes out at first if I happen to find myself in a really bad situation. So I might build out a tankier Stormclaw setup, and then kind of adjust my damage after I finish the first one. After I get the glyph, I think then I'll have to start adjusting my damage as I climb into the higher tier dungeons. I think probably maybe the first 10 or 15 I'll probably be able to do without having to adjust too many things. If I make it that far. I want to count my chickens before they hatch. Yeah, it's just the way I like to play hardcore, man. That's why I want to make a normal character, man. I want to be a little bit, I want to have a little bit easier of a time because I like making builds. And one of the biggest things that happens is obviously when I'm leveling a character and I have a build idea in my head and I'm making that build, if I die, I have to start all over again. So I definitely want to make a normal character. Probably at the beginning of Season 3, I want to have it all ready to where I can just run a normal character at first, make the builds that I want to make, and then go to hardcore and test those builds out in hardcore. I think it'd just be much more efficient for my time and give me the opportunity to get more builds out to people faster. Because honestly, I've lost so many gameplay hours just to disconnects. I've probably lost a couple hundred gameplay hours to disconnects. And don't get me wrong, I die sometimes on my own making stupid choices. Especially because I get a little impatient and I want to push into higher tier nightmare dungeons faster without really having the survivability for it. But man, I've had a couple. So my son, I have my Xbox hooked into a light socket, a power socket that's controlled by a switch on the wall. And when I first started playing Diablo in the Eternal Realm, when the game first launched, my little man switched off the switch. And I know it sounds funny, just because why would I plug it into that switch? But I always forget to swap it to a switch that's not controlled by a light switch. The man switched that thing right off a couple times. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah, just the time, man. It will really help on the time. And then I can obviously, like, jump into hardcore whenever I finish out making some good builds. I might even change, like, make the build for normal and then make the build for hardcore. Just adding survivability, stuff like that. I'm trying to stream consistently as much as I can every day. If not stream, that at least upload a video. But I definitely want to get on a better schedule with streaming. Dude, this build is going to be fun. I feel like this is going to be a really good build for running Abattoir. What build do you plan on running for Xur? What's the first build you're gonna run?
Wait a moment.
Of course. Homeboy's just waiting for me.
I must wait a moment.
Oh, I don't have enough space? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be... Well, I hope you get it, man. I hope you can get it. Grind and grind. I'm sure you probably have all the uber uniques you're not looking for. Seems to be the way it works. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why they're like, they didn't want to, almost feel like they should have just left Uber Uniques the way they were, honestly. They said they didn't want to make builds around Uber Uniques. Now everybody has like builds surrounding Uber Uniques. Or just make it easier to get them. Especially because it's seasonal. Like if this, just make it easier to get them, or make it where people can trade them. Oh, you gotten okay. Oh, okay. Never mind then. You got plenty. You've had your fill. I always see posts of these people who have like all of them and then a couple more. I think I seen this guy had like two or three Shakos. I was like, Jesus, man. Yeah, for real. Well, I mean, there was always that possibility, but you knew it was like 1 in a million. Uh, I think it. I don't know. Maybe just add in a trading system, let people trade them out. I like the idea. Like, I would love to have a Shako for this build and a Shako for my Stormclaw build. That would be the best helmet for those builds, but I can't get a single uber unique. I wanted to get a Ring of Starless Skies for my Border Cane bear build. I thought that would be a really great uber unique to have with the reduction of costs for Boulder. Yeah, I know. I see that all the time too. All the mats being sold.
I'm not ready yet.
And then you get into a rotation with a barbarian and they just doink them over the head over and over again. I seen somebody trying to sell distilled fear. I was like, I vendored my distilled fear. I was talking about that earlier. I was like, it would be nice if they made it where you could transform. It would be nice if they would make it where you could transform the summoning materials into other summoning materials, like they have it with Varshan, where you can turn some of your summoning materials into, like, if you need like a knurling head or something like that, you can transform like a blackened femur into a knurling head. I think it'd be cool if you could like turn your distilled fear or your exquisite blood. You could just turn those into living steel or mucus egg if you needed them. Yeah, the Boulder one was a lot of fun to make, but there's just so many things wrong with Boulder. That was the only. With Boulder, I feel like they just need to do some things with Boulder. I feel like all the Earth skills on Druid need some love.
First Carlo, now Leah. There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
You know what? After I do this, after I do the Vigil, I'll probably pop out of the dungeon, do the Blood Harvest event, and then I'll probably do like tier 40 Nightmare dungeons. Because I keep getting 35, so I haven't gotten any 36s have been pretty bad that I don't really want to run.
I must wait.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel, or not necessarily, yeah, I mean, I just feel like some kind of system, because I vendored like 300 or 400 distilled fears, just because I don't need anything from that boss. I don't need anything from that boss, and you know, I run Nightmare dungeons all the time because I need to level my glyphs for my different characters, and there's nothing I really get out of those distilled fears. And I don't really run Zur boss either. And then everybody's always trying to run Duriel because, well, Duriel drops the high in gear. Everything he drops is 925. And also, you know, Uber uniques. I love the fact that they've made it so easy to get uniques, though. I think that's a great change. But definitely would like, I don't know. I feel like if Uber uniques are in the game, you want to play around with them a little bit. Especially because I feel like Diablo 4 is more for like a... it is definitely more for casual as well. Like, it's definitely designed for a lot of casual players as well. Oh yeah, no, undoubtedly. Like, I definitely play this game a lot, just because I'm not just because I enjoy it, but I'm also trying to make content for it. So I know that there are plenty of players. I think the majority of players probably don't even have an Uber unique. Or they might have one, maybe. I also wish you could like tune up the other bosses. Like, I wish you could have like a level 100 Barshan, a level 100 Galvanic Saint, just so that way you could get higher tier gear. I hate getting a Crone staff and it's being like way worse than the one that I have. I'd like to be able to farm a high level Crone staff pretty consistently, with enough time and effort, of course. But it'd definitely be cool if those other bosses scaled to your level and then dropped 925 gear. I think it would make it just as rewarding as doing Duriel. Then you wouldn't have so many, you know, or not as rewarding, but definitely more rewarding. Then you're just constantly farming them for Duriel mats. Then you're actually getting good items. Outside of just uniques. Getting those 925 pieces of gear really make a big difference. Yeah, pretty much. I think I got one good, really good high tier Crone staff, and I lost that one, unfortunately, on a character. I think it was like 915 or something like that, and it had full ranks and everything, and some pretty decent affix rolls. But ever since then, I've gotten everything that's been decent enough to use has been under 900. Okay, let's go. Actually, I think I need to get rid of this, clean out my inventory, and then we'll do the blood harvest, and then I'll do a higher tier dungeon, because these 35s are getting a little too easy. Crit strike. Nope. Yeah. Right here in my my collection, right here in my fallen characters. Here's my beautiful collection of fallen characters that will always be remembered. If you notice a theme, I used pretty much the same 3 names. Here's some tier 100, my level 100s that died. Both of them by Lilith while I was doing some testing. One of these, I think it was, which one was it? I think it was this one that died when I DC'd. I was testing out some things in Lilith and I DC'd. And Homeboy bit the dust. Yeah, oh, 43 hours, bro. Down the drain. It's always heartbreaking. I'm glad that they made it easier to level, though. I'm very glad they made it easier to level. I missed that 35% XP buff, man. That was a nice XP buff. I'm glad they're gonna have like a nice 10% one for the December content. Or I should say this month, because we're in December.
What's left, you ask?
Honestly, though, I think with just my style of gameplay, I always end up killing my character somehow. In most situations. That's why I really don't even have Eternal Realm characters. I eventually just kill them somehow. Or, I don't know. I tend to overdo things. I'll push something too far, trying to put myself in the worst situation. Just because I like to see if I can make the build that I have, you know, is survive in the worst situations. So it doesn't bother me too much. If it did, I wouldn't be playing hardcore, that's for sure. Yeah, that... What's crazy is I had boosted a guy up. I had leveled this guy up a couple times. I had got him through the capstones a couple times. And, I guess this dude, like, invited me on accident. Like, you know how you're in different instances? This guy invited me. I was in the same area, but a different instance. So I decided to help him out. And I leveled him a couple times, and he kept dying on his character. I don't think he knew how to play hardcore. And then, homeboy unfriended me. He unfriended me after I helped him out. I didn't help him enough, I guess. I was like, that ungrateful. I was like, how about this? I'll make a character, and I'll level together with you. Maybe that would help him. He didn't like that idea, I guess. Yeah, the elixir potion definitely helps. Although I would prefer the Scroll of Escape to actually work when you disconnect and not like a few seconds after you disconnect. Because, yeah, that thing gets you killed anyway. Unless you're already in a safe area, you're gonna die when you disconnect. That's happened to me, I think, 3 or 4 times. I disconnected, had the Scroll of Escape, had the potion up, had everything going. Disconnect, come back, character's dead.
I must wait a moment.
And I honestly wouldn't even mind if they lost the potion, if like we didn't have the potion, if there wasn't so many like one-shot things that can kind of that you can't see. Like so many puddles, so many color issues where things kind of blend in to the ground or blend in where you can't actually tell that there's something underneath your character or something coming your direction. Like, for instance, the ballistas, like, off-screen hitting you from, like, a mile away. I think that was a big problem until they reduced the overall accuracy of those ballistas. Like, things like that are kind of annoying. If they would give you a zoom-out option and then maybe make it where there weren't things that could hit you that you couldn't see, and then maybe also change the color of certain one-shot mechanics, then I wouldn't mind losing the potion. Yeah. Any kind of latency, any kind of laggy issue or frame drops here, it's kind of annoying. And obviously the DCs. But there's just something fun about, I don't know, there's something fun about playing hardcore. And then, but I definitely will be doing normal in season 3, and then hardcore a little bit later into season 3. But can't you turn the numbers off? You can turn your damage numbers off, can't you? I believe that's an option in the menu. I haven't looked. If you're playing Ball Lightning and that's an issue, just turn the numbers off. I don't know if they have that. I have to double check. But typically most games have it where you can turn off the damage numbers.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It just gives you that extra reason to kind of play the game, test out your character, see if you know, experiment with different ideas, see if you can make your character as survivable as possible while also being able to have enough damage to kill all the content. Just adds that extra level of difficulty. So I always do like hardcore solo self-found, and I won't make a build that relies on an unintended mechanic or a bug.
I'm not ready.
What, the dopamine of getting a good drop that you want? Is that what you're saying? I gotta go get a tree of whispers. Yeah. I mean, that's really what's fun about it. I like to actually pay attention to the mechanics. You know, I like to know what I need to dodge. I like to know how certain things work. It just makes the game fun for me. If I feel like I'm just running through the game casually, killing everything and anything without any kind of difficulty, it doesn't make the game fun for me. I don't really know if I need a better helmet, but I would like one with better item power on it. All right, brother. I'll see you later. Have a good night. Yep, get some rest, and good luck to you as well. I hope you get that amulet, man. Now I'll see you around.
I'm not ready.
How can I help? There's that.
It is done.
That's not a bad ring. Although those are some... Dang, man, that's a low roll on the poison enemies. It's not too bad, though. Crit strike damage. Damage to poison enemies. Get a good lucky hit on that. I don't know. We'll see.
I must wait a moment.
It's crazy you can get 9%. I've never gotten a 9% lucky hit. Good night, brother. $3.8. Come on, man. 3.8 out of 6%. I'm not going to go past him. One more. No, thank you. What do I got left? Villagers. I used up like almost 200 mil earlier on my other character I'm going to be using. Just rolling a necklace. It's a terrible idea. That's why I shouldn't gamble. Oh, my man's using Tornado. The Were-nado. I could never... And I don't know if I could ever enjoy the Were-nado bill. I try to enjoy Lightning Storm, but I feel like Lightning Storm, I can't even enjoy Lightning Storm.
I must wait a moment.
Always unmarked over here. I don't know why there's people to save unmarked over here. Where are all the humans to save? Go away. All right. Oh, man. I thought I was about to never find the last human. Last villager. Let's see. Anything good?
What's left, you ask?
Okay. Let's craft a tier 40 to 50.
Right aura.
Hopefully it's a decent one. I don't know if I wanted to do a 50. What it is. Let's just do all sigils. I don't want a 50 right away. Like a low 40. I could try that out. 46. It's not a bad dungeon either. Lots of XP. What time is it? 10:30. Probably get off here in a few minutes. It's getting kind of late. Not big on grinning labyrinth. Wait, no. No, not grinning labyrinth. It's the other labyrinth. Grinning's not bad. I cannot wait till I get a decent pair of gloves. Oh my gosh. That attack speed would be so nice. The lucky hit, crit chance. Another bad dungeon.
I'm not ready yet.
Another grinning labyrinth? Wow. They really want me to run that dungeon. Thought I had something crawling on my arm for a second.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet.
All right. Yeah, I'm building a subterranean build. So far, I really like it a lot. So far, I'm really liking it a lot. This is going to be the other build I use for the abattoir. So I have a Stormclaw I'm going to use for it, but I'm going to make some slight changes to it, and then I'm going to use this build. I just have to get it finished. Once I get it all set up, I think it'll be pretty good. I got to optimize my Paragon board, get everything kind of set up correctly, make sure I have all my affixes. Well, most of my affixes correct. But so far, I really like it a lot. I really like it. With the Frostburn, yeah, man, I'm telling you, a lot of people don't sleep on Frostburn, but that's a really great set of gloves. I think I might... Yeah, well, I'm going to try out both of them. I actually think this is going to be a lot more fun, or even better than Stormclaw. But I might make some changes. Like I said, I'm probably going to make some changes to my Stormclaw build. I just have to get... I'm probably going to swap out the Mad Wolves, so I have some more ranks for Earthen Bulwark when I low life, and then I'm probably going to change the boots from... I'm probably going to swap the boots to Ghostwalker aspect, so I have that at movement speed that I lose when I take off the Mad Wolf's Glee, and then I'm probably going to put the Nature's Fury on my chest. So that's one thing I'll change, and then I'll get the ranks to Bulwark, so that way it's more tanky. And then get total armor, and I hope I can get a good roll of damage reduction while injured on my necklace, and just move the armor roll off of my necklace onto the chest. And then I'll have damage reduction while injured there, and then I can take off resilience from my vampiric powers and use something that gives damage, probably like Prey on the Weak or something like that. And I'm also hoping I can swap out of Metamorphosis. I hope I can make it tanky enough that I never lose my Bulwark. It would definitely be really good if I got a Shaco Harlequin Crest, but I haven't had any luck, so, and I don't think I'll get any luck by the time Zur comes out, since it's literally in a couple days. But everything I'm doing is going to be low life Bulwark. Like, this is going to be a low life Bulwark build, and then my Stormclaw build is obviously, you know, low life Bulwark. But I just have to swap a couple things around. And because most of the damage in the Stormclaw is coming from your Overcharge aspect and your Runeworker aspect, you won't really lose a lot of damage. You might actually pick up some damage when you swap out your Vampiric Power. I just have to get the right gear pieces. And then once I get the actual glyph from the event, I'll probably make another build. I'll probably make a build video. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm hoping when I get to 100, I'll go ahead and put out the planner for this build, and see if and make sure I have everything set up the way it'll work. So hopefully before Zur, I'm hoping to get it out before Monday. I'm hoping I'll be able to spend enough time during the weekend to get it to 100. I'll run it through Lilith to make sure it has enough single target damage. I'll run it through a tier 100 to make sure it has enough survivability and AoE clear, which I think it'll have plenty of AoE clear. I'm more concerned about like killing Uber Lilith and or Duriel, making sure I have enough damage to clear like tanky things, and then I'll probably put it out. So hopefully no later than Sunday, I'll have this build done. Barring anything happening, obviously, like hold on. I gotta be mindful of what I'm doing. I'm sitting here, I'm always forgetting to use my potions when I stream. I get chatty and I start talking, and I forget to reapply my potion, my elixirs. But yeah, I'm hoping before Monday. That way it gives people some time to kind of like look it over, see if they like it, see if it's something they're interested in, and then to try it out. Because I honestly think this is going to be a better build than Stormclaw. But I love playing Stormclaw. It's so much fun. And then after that, I might make a pulverized build. I was gonna make this was gonna be a pulverized build, but then there was just something about Subterranean that made me like really want to try it out. Like, I like the speed of it. I like being able to drop your poison creeper and then bounce out of there, and it does a ton of damage still. I'm just killing this extra stuff for XP. Yeah, I think anything that gives you more bulwark, man, anything that gives you more levels in bulwark is going to make you crazy tanky. Especially if you're running low life with it, man. Like, even with the chest piece, this is why I want to swap. I'll show you how much barrier I get just with the chest piece swap, and that's why I want to swap it out on my Stormclaw. But the 4 ranks that I have just on the chest piece here, it just gives you so much on your barrier. And that damage reduction that you get on Shaco is so good. It just makes you super, super tanky. I just wanted to make a way where I can swap everything out where I don't lose the movement speed. That's why I like Mad Wolf so much. I just love the movement speed. And I think if I run Ghost Walker, I can take off Metamorphosis, I'll have more movement speed, and by having more ranks in Bulwark, I'll never have to worry about losing my barrier. So I won't need Metamorphosis to save me, because I won't lose my barrier. The only thing I would worry about is running into Waller enemies, just because of how annoying they are. And the crazy part is there's really no way to make Earthen Bulwark better other than to have more ranks into Earthen Bulwark, just because it still scales off of your base health. So no matter how much health you put into your character with rubies and all that, it still doesn't affect the overall barrier on Earthen Bulwark. So the only way you can actually make it better is to have more ranks in it. That's another reason why I'm running amethysts instead of rubies. I like the damage reduction that I get from damage over time effects. I've seen a big difference in how long my bulwark lasts just by having that on. Just because of how strong poison is. I didn't really want to run it with pets. I've used Shepherd's aspect so much through season 1. And everything, and I was trying to do a companion build in season 1, and I've used that aspect so much that I was just like, I don't want to do a pet build again. I get tired of the fact that companions are terrible, and the only way to make them good is to indirectly buff your damage through the Shepherd aspect. So I'm trying something a little bit different here, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. I think it's going to work out better than having companions. But you can definitely, I think you can definitely run this with companions, obviously. Yeah, I've just used Shepherd so much, man. If you look back on my channel, all my old videos, I was trying to do a playthrough in hardcore, trying to make a companion build. And that's the only way I could think about making a companion build, is to make a hybrid Lightning Storm companion build using Shepherds and Stampede. And I was just like, well, I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing it a different way. So I'm taking a lot what I learned from my Boulder Cane Bear build that I made. I'm taking a lot of the aspects of that build, and kind of molding them into this build to make it to give you that same amount of damage, but also having skills that are more useful than, you know, stupid wolves running around doing nothing. So I have Hurricane now. I can get damage reduction from the Hurricane. I always have my ultimate slotted with Petrify, and then, you know, those things. And then I have a free slot that I put in a landslide on, but you could probably swap that out for something else. Especially if you have Shaco, you could probably put your Cyclone there just to give you that damage reduction from elemental sources. But there's a lot to it. So I'll just show you real quick so far. So ultimately, my plan is, you know, you want the aspect of might. I think I'm going to keep in this build, but if you wanted to swap out the helmet, you could probably swap it to a Shaco. I don't have the Shaco though, or you could do a Godslayer crown, which I think Godslayer crown would be really good because you get the multiplicative damage every time it procs, and because you're always immobilizing enemies, it'll work. And then you know, obviously it pulls everything together. So you could run a Godslayer there, or you could run a Shaco. I personally would probably prefer a Shaco just because you get the extra ranks to bulwark. And then the chest, you have Nature's Fury. The gloves, I like the natural balance because you get that crit strike to your storm skills, and obviously that lays into the crit strike that you need to reset your companion skill. So you'll have 12% critical hit chance added to your Storm Claw. So that should and then also you get that multiplicative critical strike damage increase from your from the other passive for Nature's natural balance. So you're getting a ton of critical hit damage increase, and you're getting that 12% to reset your companion skills. So I really like this aspect for the build, and I thought it would be a really good change. And then obviously you want Mending Stone because you're getting a lot of regeneration from this because you're using Earth skills to kill stuff. And then Ghost Walker for the unstoppable, you know, you're moving through enemies and you get a big, I have a base one at 10%, but getting one with 25%, that's an insane amount of movement speed. So you'll have movement speed on your boots, movement speed from your Ghost Walker, and then you'll also get movement speed on your amulet. And that'll be, you'll be moving so quick. And then on my amulet, I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to run on my amulet. If I want to run retaliation, because you get the 60% increase for your core skills with Fortify. So that's a nice way of adding a good chunk of that damage you would miss without the companions. So you get that 60% there. And then you're also getting the increased critical strike chance and the critical strike damage increase with your Earth skills here. So you're kind of making up that damage in other ways while also implementing skills that are more useful than just ravens and wolves. And then obviously Landslide, you want the Aftershock and you want the subterranean aspect. I have pretty low rolls on those, as you can see. I could get 20% here. I'm missing 6% on that, and this one's really bad. 6% here, I could get up to 12%, so that'll increase the damage even more. And then I also need like crowd control, damage to crowd control enemies to buff up Earth and Devastation. But that's basically the gist of it. And then obviously your Spirit Boons. I'm thinking if I want to swap swooping attacks for Avian Wrath, but I'm not certain how much attack speed I'll actually need once I finish the build, because I have pretty bad gloves right now. I only have lucky hit chance, and at a pretty low roll at that. So I still need crit strike, attack speed, and then a better lucky hit roll. And then obviously ranks to Landslide. That would be the perfect set of gloves. But I don't even have that. I don't even have close to that, so hopefully I'll be able to get a better pair of gloves. I know I'll probably get to get a better pair of gloves, but I don't think I'll get all 4 affixes that I want. If I could get crit strike and lucky hit with Landslide, I think I'd be happy. But definitely want some attack speed. I would love to get a perfect set of gloves. And then for rings, it'd be crit strike, lucky hit, critical strike damage, and then damage to crowd control enemies. Would be the perfect affixes on my rings. And then I have a pretty mid Crone Staff. I'd like to get a better Crone Staff. Spirit Boons are pretty much the same. You know, you got Weariness. You could probably swap out swooping attacks for Avian Wrath once I got more attack speed for my gloves, or I might like to keep the attack speed. But critical strike damage would do a lot here. and then obviously Pack Leader, and then Calm Before the Storm. And the cool thing about Calm Before the Storm is you get a lot of reset just because you're critting so often with your stuff. And I think my skill tree so far, you just put 1 point in these just to get the vulnerability here and the chance to attack twice there. And then obviously this is pretty straightforward. I did take the points from Digigrade Gate, and I did disperse them into Earthen Bulwark, and I also moved some points into Hurricane. And you could also swap this into Natural Hurricane if you wanted more AoE vulnerability, but you know, you don't necessarily, if you're looking for tankiness, which I am because I'm playing hardcore, I'm going to use this. If I was looking for like an AoE vulnerability source, I'd probably use Natural Hurricane. Even though I have Stormclaw, you know, sometimes vulnerability doesn't hit everything. And I like Safeguard. Now, I ended up putting 3 points in Safeguard to give me that Fortify instead of using Preserving Earthen Bulwark to gain Fortify. Because you're critting so often, you max out your Fortify pretty fast. And then I'm trying out Innate Bulwark. I'm just seeing how it feels, like seeing if it helps with the damage at all. But if anything, you could probably take a point out of here and put it into your resistances or to your damage reduction here. Obviously 3 points into Brutal Poison Creeper because you want the critical strike increase. Then Neurotoxin and Envenom. You don't need Toxic Claws because your main source of damage is Poison Creeper and it always poisons enemies. And then 2 points in Petrify for the extended duration. This is probably going to be really useful for that duration when you're doing Zur. And then I like to use Natural Disaster as well as Defiance. I like Natural Disaster because you're always making enemies vulnerable and you get 12% multiplicative damage towards them with your Earth skills. And then you could also, if you found the points were useful in other places, less useful in some places, you could probably even get the damage here from Resonance just because, you know, any multiplicative damage is useful. I'm not done with my Paragon board, though. This is kind of just thrown together. This is not even close to optimized. I'll probably swap a lot of this stuff around. And then my vampiric powers are pretty straightforward. Like I said, I'm trying to move away from using Metamorphosis. I'm trying to keep my barrier up long enough that I can just constantly refresh it and just avoid using Metamorphosis altogether. And that will give me enough leeway to where my hope is to get all my gear pieces to have damage reduction while injured on the pants, damage reduction while injured on the boots, and damage reduction while injured on the choker here, the necklace slot. Then I can take off Undying, and instead of running Resilience, which would give me that damage reduction while I was injured as well, instead of running Resilience, I can just run like another damage aspect like Prey on the Weak. So then I'd have like Ravenous, Moonrise, Prey on the Weak, Domination, and then Sanguine Brace. And I think that would really crank up the damage even more. But again, that's all dependent on if I get the right affixes on the right gear pieces. And that's a similar thing I want to do with my Stormclaw. I want to free up the resilience on my Stormclaw build by getting damage reduction while injured on my necklace, and then I can swap resilience into something that gives me damage just to crank up the damage through my vampiric powers. Because there's a lot of multiplicative damage in here, like Prey on the Weak, 16%. This is going to be Domination, obviously, because we're not fighting any bosses, and we're only really killing enemies that can be crowd-controlled. Domination is going to be insane for doing Zur. 24% multiplicative damage is really crazy. And you're always going to immobilize. You're always going to, you know, have some form of stun, immobilize, or freeze. So... And then you kill enemies that are injured. That's a big one too. So you automatically kill enemies that are non-elite that are injured. Big way of helping you clear out those packs of enemies. Especially because this is working much like Greater Rifts, where you have to kill a certain amount of enemies in a specific time frame. You know, now you'll be able to kill them much faster. And maybe you can even avoid some of the elites and just kill like the smaller enemies. Because injury is below 35%. So below 35% is, I mean, that's 35% of their life you don't even have to worry about. So that's my overall, that's how I have it so far. If that was, I'm sorry if that's too much, if I was just throwing too many things at you too fast there. But that's my whole mindset behind the build thus far. I just need to get the right gear pieces. I'm not having the best luck with certain gear pieces.
Not while I'm in town.
My eyes can only watch so much.
Melee defenders.
That got most of it.
Kind of just rattled off a bunch of information there. Sound like a maniac. I have to watch that back. Let's go. Slay all the enemies. Why couldn't it just be like, destroy the thing in the center? Oh my god, I hate this storm wrath thing, man. Feels like I'm running from a serial killer. It just always finds its way in front of me. Follow me. Get away from this stupid thing. I'll stay here. Go ahead and come over here, bro. I love how fast the stagger meter builds up. Okie dokie. Alrighty.
Look.
Look where?
No.
No.
You can come back if you need work.
%. All right. Well, that's all for me for the rest of the night, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will probably see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys are having a great day or great night, depending on where you're from. And peace out, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.